He looked brilliant, sharp, composed, powerful. Once again, Oleksandr Usyk stood tall, undisputed, undefeated, and untouched at the very top of boxing's most dangerous mountain. And that's exactly why this might be the perfect time to walk away. On July 19th, 2025, Usyk didn't just beat Daniel Dubois, he dismantled him. From the first bell, Usyk controlled every moment. The jab was precise, the angles were clean, the distance management flawless. Dubois tried to get inside, threw some dangerous right hands, even came close with an uppercut in the third, but none of it changed the story. Usyk was simply better at everything, again. In round 5, it ended. A sharp left dropped Dubois, and the follow-up made it clear. Usyk is still a force. Not a faded veteran hanging on, not a champion scraping by, but a master boxer in full command of his craft. And that's what makes this moment so rare and so dangerous. Because boxing history tells us the downfall doesn't always come gradually. It comes suddenly, without warning. One fight, you're dominant. The next, you're wondering what just happened. And by the time it's obvious, it's already too late. So today, we ask the question no champion ever wants to face. Should Oleksandr Usyk retire now, while he's still on top? Let's talk about history. Let's talk about the legends who stood right where Usyk stands now, on top of the world, just before everything slipped through their gloves. Let's start with another legendary heavyweight, Vladimir Klitschko. At 38, he was still the long-reigning heavyweight king, a decade of dominance. His jab, notorious. His right hand, lethal. He looked just as sharp in his 30s as he had in his prime. Then, Tyson Fury came along. And that night, Vladimir didn't just get beaten, he looked like he had aged. The jab wasn't landing, the timing was off, the footwork was half a beat behind. He wasn't hurt, he wasn't dominated, he was simply outclassed by someone fresher, looser, more reactive. He looked unsure. And in boxing, that's all it takes. The Klitschko era ended not with a knockout, but with hesitation, with the smallest drop in sharpness. Gennady Golovkin, the most feared middleweight in years. At 36, he was still firing, still sharp. But by the Derevyanchenko fight at 37, the punches weren't landing as clean. The head movement wasn't there. He got hit, a lot. He won, but he looked aged. And when he finally faced Canelo again at 40, it was over. No spark, no fire, just a quiet farewell in defeat. Even Roy Jones Jr., the most gifted fighter of his generation, once the reflexes went, the style collapsed. At 38, he was still fighting, but the magic was gone. He couldn't pull the trigger, couldn't avoid what he used to. And he kept fighting, long past the warning signs. These aren't just stories, they're patterns. Because in boxing, the cliff doesn't announce itself. It hides behind a brilliant performance. It whispers during training camp. It shows up in the ring, not as a knockout, but as a second too slow, a punch too wide, a breath too shallow. Usyk isn't showing that yet. That's the point. Right now, he looks magnificent. Still agile, still accurate, still smarter than everyone else in the division. But he's 38. And fighters who rely on timing, reflexes, and footwork don't get the luxury of fading slowly. They vanish suddenly. One fight, you're untouchable. The next, you can't get out of the way. So what's next for Usyk? Caballo, Parker. Both are interesting. Both are younger, fresher. Forces in the division who have risen to the top. Usyk would be favored. Deservedly so. But they're dangerous because they have nothing to lose. And because when you're 38, one off night is all it takes. Then what? A trilogy with Fury, a money fight with Joshua. These aren't just fights, they're tests of time, of resilience, of instincts that might one day betray you. And when that day comes, you don't get to choose your exit. Which is why now might be the right time to bail out. Usyk has never ducked anyone, never lost, never been dropped. This is the resume of a great, of a generational fighter, of someone who could walk away today and leave behind a legacy with no stain. Not many can say that. Andre Ward did. Joe Calzaghe did. Floyd Mayweather did. They walked away on their terms. Undefeated, uncompromised. They didn't wait for decline. They saw the door open and left before the lights dimmed. Usyk could join them. Right now. No one would question it. No one would blame him. He's conquered the sport. Once at cruiserweight and twice at heavyweight. Boxing is cruel. It doesn't care about what you did, only what you look like in your last fight. And one night, without warning, it takes everything away from you. So what should Usyk do? Only he knows. Maybe the fire still burns. Maybe he wants more. Maybe he's chasing that final payday. Maybe he can't stop fighting when the fight for his country still rages on. But if he's asking the question, should I keep going? Then maybe he already knows the answer. Because no champion ever thinks it's their time until it is. And when it is, the sport doesn't tell you, it shows you. Thanks for watching. What are your thoughts? Should Usyk retire or should he continue? Don't forget to like and subscribe.